Our speaker is the leader of Bags for Good. Throughout her life, she always thought to be more eco-friendly. But is that a real solution? Through her speech called Alternative Bags More Dangerous Than Plastic Bags, she hoped to inform people that there's something more important than plastic itself.
All right, let's give a big round of applause for
Birgitta Fidelia!
Plastic is everywhere. Plastics don't only include plastic bags, plastic bottles, or utensils, but so many other things that we use in our daily lives. Did you know that drinking cans actually contain plastic? You might think that it's fully made out of metal, but in fact, drinking cans contain plastic linings to prevent any liquid from corroding the can itself. Chewing gums also contain plastic. Did you know that most gum bases actually contain polyethylene? The same type of plastic used to make plastic bags and bottles. So technically, you've been chewing on plastic all this time, if you like chewing gums, of course. Do you know that you might be wearing plastic too right now? Because about 60% of our clothes are made of synthetic fibers, mainly polyester, nylon, and acrylic. So now, can you imagine not using any plastic at all? Don't you think it's kind of impossible for us to completely get rid of it? It's been 21 years since the Go Green initiative started. 21 years, but nothing has changed except for the fact that now we have to pay for plastic bags. Isn't it ridiculous? We were always told to do the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. But how many of us actually do that? Even the basics, sorting organic and non-organic trash. We all know what it is, right? But how many of us actually do that? Not only that, we're always urged to bring our own shopping bags. But how many of us actually bring our own bags from home and use them instead of just, paying extra for another bag that will end up somewhere in the corner of your house and then thrown away? Sure, it won't take us long to decompose, but are you sure it's more eco-friendly? In fact, alternative bags like paper bags and cotton bags actually produce more environmental footprint than plastic bags. Cotton growing uses more herbicides than any other crops in the world. And the production of cotton itself is very water demanding. Whilst paper, as we all know, is recyclable, which is beneficial. But it requires a lot of resources and energy to produce and transport it. In addition, it is less durable, causes deforestation, and contributes to air pollution. From a UK study, it is also said that to be more eco-friendly than using a plastic bag, you will have to use a paper bag 4 times, a shopping bag 14 times, or a cotton bag 173 times. But what if we fail to use them as much? Isn't it the same as using a plastic bag, or maybe even worse? Actually, I am currently the PIC of an organization called Bag for Goods. And what do we do? Oh, I'm sorry. So what should we actually do? We all still remember the 3 R's, right? Reduce, reuse, and recycle. Well, it can actually be very useful in reducing our plastic waste and can become the base of many other innovations that may come in the future. Let me tell you something. I'm actually a fan of skincare, and I use them daily. So I actually know that most companies and brands actually recycle or reuse their empty containers that the customers, us, return. Some of them even offers discounts, cashbacks, or even free refills. Admit it, we like them. I also love fashion. I mean, who doesn't love fashion here, right? We all always buy clothes. But as I said before, at least 11% of our plastic waste consists of clothing or textiles. But now, luckily, more and more companies and brands are starting to be more aware of this fact and are making efforts in reducing fashion waste. Some of them rent out clothes and some others recycle clothes. While what we can do ourselves is opting for thrifting or buying secondhand, which also saves us money. But the most important thing is to change our mindset from just thinking that, oh, I'm not using any plastic bag or using any plastic straw, so I must be making a big change, right? Well, not exactly. Why, you ask me? It's because those things aren't the only type of plastic in the world and aren't the only thing harming our environment. Not reusing your alternative bags, buying clothes that you won't use, or simply using one-time use plastics also harm the environment. Actually, I am currently the PIC of an organization called Back for Goods. And what do we do there? We upcycle banners into these bags. Banners are also made of plastic, specifically PVC. But the production of banners also never stops. So we're trying to make use of those already existing banners and give them a new life as a bag. We got our banners from donations by some companies. We then cut them up and according to the template, and then have a professional stitch them up. So the quality of our bags are also guaranteed. But unfortunately, these bags can also have the same fate as any other bags. But still, don't you think that it's better to use a bag that's made from something already existing and not usually reused, instead of using a bag that's purposely made from scratch for an alternative for plastic bags, which produces much more environmental footprint? The point is, there are so many ways for us to contribute our part in reducing plastic waste. You can start thrifting, buying secondhand, recycling your clothes, returning your empty containers, or simply not using one-time use plastics. Be creative and do what you think you can actually do and implement in your life, because those things aren't the only thing that you can actually do. But we must change. I mean, if we have been doing the right thing all of this time, the only thing that has changed now won't be just having to pay extra for a plastic bag, right? I'm Fidelia, and thank you for listening to my speech.